This is NDDC Today.
One of the key mandates for us is to make sure that a thorough forensic audit is undertaken on NDDC.
As a governor of Nigeria, we met Mr. President. We told Mr. President there must be a surgical operation. We are in support of it.
It doesn't matter who's responsible, because somebody has to speak out at some time in history.
The President has ordered a forensic audit, and that was the basis for which we emerged as an interim management committee. And we want to assure everyone in Nigeria, and indeed the Niger Delta, that our commonwealth will be accounted for.
Hello. So all that we've been waiting for, the forensic audit, is finally on the way. This week on NDDC Today.
NDDC urges contractors, consultants, and service providers to come for verification. Questionable contract awards of over 1.3 trillion in 3 years exposed by the Executive Director of Projects. NDDC to restore historical bridge in River State. NDDC partners with Rwanda to tackle environmental issues in River State. This is NDDC Today. Stay with us.
The Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has asked its contractors and consultants who have not presented themselves for verification and documentation at the ongoing contract verification exercise, which the Interim Management Committee of the NDDC set up recently to authenticate all NDDC contracts, to do so immediately, as only verified and confirmed contracts will be paid. This position was made known when the acting managing director of the commission, Dr. Joy Nunye, paid an unscheduled visit to the verification center at the NDDC River State office in Port Harcourt to ascertain the progress of work done since the commencement of the verification exercise.
We're calling on everyone who is truly owed, every company that deserves to be paid, please come forth and do your verification. Once, if you are not verified by the end of next week, then you are not a contractor with the NDDC. Please come with your documents.
The contract verification exercise, just few days in, is the first stage in the redirection of the Commission, while the second stage will entail site inspections and validations.
The next step would be visiting the sites where you claim to have done the jobs. In some cases, people claim to have finished, they have IPCs, but the jobs haven't even been started at all. In some other cases, they say they've done 5 kilometers of road, they all have the same pictures. And so we're not impressed by photographs. Some people have presented 5 photographs. Some other companies have also gotten jobs, the same road constructions from FEMA, the same road constructions from the state governments, and the same road from NDDC. So we have also written to these organizations to identify the projects that they too have been working on, and then so there's a lot to do.
Nunye urged all NDDC contractors, consultants and service providers to take advantage of the verification exercise by going to the various verification centers in the 9 Niger Delta states with the right documentation, so that anyone owed can be paid accordingly, as she expressed satisfaction with the ongoing exercise.
Go to the states where you claim to have implemented these projects. Please go there for your verifications. And once we go through this process, but I just want to say that even though you give us documents, we will still write to PENCOM, NSITF, the Corporate Affairs Commission, to verify the documents that have been put in. So it's just one step into this verification process.
It is expected that by the end of the contract verification exercise, the actual debt profile of the NDDC will be known. The Interim Management Committee of the NDDC has disclosed how the Commission, without the backing of the budget, awarded over 1 trillion naira questionable contracts in the past 3 years. Acting Executive Director Projects and Chairman Contract Verification Committee, Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, during a press briefing at the NDDC headquarters in Port Harcourt, explained that the so-called emergency contracts awarded by the Commission between 2016 and 2019 were not only spurious but criminal, as most of the awards had no bills of engineering measurement or drawings.
For instance, in 2017, the Commission awarded a total of 201 emergency contracts valued at 100 billion 396 million 879,001 naira 6 kobo. In 2018, a total of 1,057 emergency contracts were awarded, valued at 162 billion 688 million 289,333 naira 5 kobo. And just 7 months in 2019, a total of 1,921 emergency contracts valued at 1 trillion 70 billion 249 million 631,757 naira 70 kobo only. So you can imagine the problem and the exposure of the NDDC.
Ojugbo maintained that the contract verification exercise by his committee will expose all the spurious contracts awarded over the years, describing the awards as an open check for the contractors and their collaborators to fill in at the nearest banks. And the Commission would have wound up if President Buhari had not ordered a forensic audit on it.
So, with this volume of exposure, you now see why the President had to order for this forensic audit. You now see the reason why the Interim Management Committee has set up this verification exercise.
The EDP affirmed that the contract verification exercise is intended to establish the true position of the emergency regime between 2016 and 2019 in the Commission, noting that contracts that do not qualify for emergency were fraudulently awarded at over 1 trillion in less than 1 year, when NDDC's yearly budget is just above 400 billion naira.
We are talking of a total of 1.3 trillion in less than 3 years for emergency contracts only. This emergency contract, the implication is that they don't pass through due process. And the normal contracts that would have been awarded that will pass through due process were suspended. The yearly budget of the NDDC is hardly above 400 billion. And the situation where contracts that do not qualify for emergencies were fraudulently awarded to over 1 trillion naira in value in less than 1 year amounts to not only stealing from the pulpit, but stealing the entire pulpit.
Dr. Ojugbo urged members of the Contracts Verification Committee to carry out their task responsibly and without fear or favour, as they have the backing and support of the Niger Delta people.
As you go out for this exercise, know that the entire people of the Niger Delta and the Commission have placed heavy responsibilities on your shoulders. To this end, you are to discharge your duties diligently, honestly, and professionally.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The President insists
that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
But we really want to assure you guys that I think we will support you.
We, the governors of the NDDC, have decided that we will work with the new acting managing director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better. Inaugurating the committee at the NDDC headquarters in Port Harcourt, the acting managing director, Dr. Joy Nunye, said the exercise was a prelude to the forensic audit of the commission, ordered by President Muhammadu Buhari. Nunye stated that the verification was necessary because there were so many fake interim payment certificates (IPCs) being claimed by NDDC contractors.
There's so many fake IPCs all over the country, and so we're going to have our team go out to all the states to verify these projects and these contracts.
Dr. Joy Nunye emphasized that the NDDC had records of all the contracts that had been awarded by the Commission, and as such, anyone coming with a fake IPC would be arrested by the security agencies.
Anyone who comes with a fake IPC would be arrested instantly. You're going to have the police, DSS, and even the representatives of EFCC, who haven't quite concluded, to be there.
She advised Nigerians not to buy IPCs and contracts purported to emanate from the NDDC. The NDDC boss also observed that some non-governmental organizations, NGOs, which were not supposed to be profit-making, became contractors, contrary to the law regulating their activities.
We will also be inviting the NGOs to come for verification, so that we know why we're involved in profit-making also.
Nunye thanked the governors of the NDDC mandate states that had set up committees to investigate the jobs done by the Commission's contractors in their various states, following the list of contracts given to them. She urged them to help to fish out dubious contractors claiming to have executed jobs that exist only on paper. She assured all contractors that did their jobs according to specifications that they would be paid after the verification exercise.
All those who did their jobs, met the standards, will be paid. They will all be paid.
The chairman of the verification committee and the executive director project, Dr. Cairo Ajubo, thanked the NDDC boss for giving them the opportunity to serve. He assured that they would approach the assignment with diligence and thoroughness.
Let me also assure you, members that are involved in this team, that the Commission will do as much as possible to assure you of your security, give you adequate protection, and make sure that you are well protected to do your job.
The committee has the NDDC Director of Project Monitoring and Supervision, Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Audu Ohuagbora, as the Deputy Chairman, and the Director, Community and Rural Development, Mrs. Iyenge Numbere, as Secretary.
The Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has concluded plans to restore the dilapidated bridge leading into K-Dere and B-Dere communities in Gokana local government area and Okrika local government area in Rivers State. The Commission took this decision when the Acting Managing Director and Head of the Interim Management Committee, IMC, Bene Dr. Joy Nunye, accompanied by the Commission's Acting Executive Director Finance and Administration, Chief Ibanga Bassi, and Acting Executive Director Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, visited the communities to inspect the road and bridge infrastructure. The NDDC had received petitions about the poor state of the bridge from Ogoni and Okrika elders, which prompted the Commission's hierarchy to visit and have first-hand knowledge of the state of the road and bridge.
This bridge was developed by Shell in the early 60s. However, as of today, the bridge has collapsed.
An immediate assessment and subsequent emergency intervention work on the bridge linking K-Dere, B-Dere and Okrika communities, under which fresh water and salt water meet, has been ordered by the NDDC Acting Managing Director to prevent it from eventual collapse.
This is an emergency. We don't want this. I'm even worried as we stand any minute from now. And it's a very interesting spot where the salt water meets the fresh water. And under this bridge is historic. I think we'll still use this bridge for that historic part of this history.
The quick response of the NDDC to the challenge being faced by the residents of the adjoining communities with the dilapidated bridge has actually gladdened the hearts of those who use the bridge regularly. The NDDC team also visited a community along the Dere River where the environment and aquatic life had been totally destroyed by the activity of illegal oil bunkering by the youths of the community. Leaders and elders in Gokana have been admonished to rein in their use to end the continued degradation of the environment.
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The President insists that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
But we really want to assure you guys that I think we will support you.
We, the governors of the NDDC, have decided that we will work with the new acting managing director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better.
The Interim Management Committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC is advocating for a robust partnership with the River State Waste Management Agency, RIWAMA, to curb the menace of environmental pollution, which is fast affecting life expectancy of the people of the oil-bearing communities in the southern part of the country. This was made known when a delegation from the NDDC, led by its Acting Executive Director Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, who represented the Acting Managing Director of the Commission, Bene Dr. Joy Nunye, paid a courtesy visit to the sole administrator of RIWAMA, Prince Felix Obua, at his office in Port Harcourt.
Because of the health of the people of the Niger Delta, which is the main pivot of the arm of the Niger Delta Development Commission, we decided to come here to hold a meeting with the agency so that we can collaborate on how to address the issue of pollution that is becoming hazardous.
The activities of some youths of the Niger Delta in oil bunkering in the region are not only illegal but a major contributor of pollutants into the atmosphere that is negatively affecting the health of the people. He urged the River State Waste Management Agency to use modern techniques to dispose of the refuse.
Then, unfortunately, we go to our abattoirs. You see them roast a cow and roast a goat with tires. And it is a major source of pollutant. Then you leave there. The waste, that's where that concerns you most seriously. It's generating the waste dumps. In the waste dumps, there are all manner of things. Polythene bags, everything, and all of them. And this, by the time you wake up, the cloud is black. I have never said it before. If you walk the streets of Port Harcourt, look at the roof, everywhere is black. The gardens, all of them, you see soup dropping. And we cannot continue like that. We must help ourselves.
In his remarks, the Riwama boss observed that the visit of the NDDC delegation to the River State Waste Management Agency's office is historic, as the development and well-being of the Niger Delta people has taken precedence over partisan politics.
I'm happy you are here today. When I heard that you are paying me a costly visit today and to discuss one or two things, my heart gladdens. I said, this is the best visitors I've had. It's like a lost and found. If not for anything, I can put it in my record that the acting MD, our daughter, Project, and his team, we are the first who set aside politics and to do the needful. That's why I will ever remain grateful to her and this team for this costly visit.
Dr. Obua noted that Riwama, as directed by Governor Nyesom Wike, had carried out its waste management activities in the state at no expense to the residents since 2015, while also calling on other corporate bodies and agencies to emulate NDDC by collaborating with Riwama to tackle air pollution and other environmental hazards in the state.
So we are calling on agency operating in River State, corporate bodies, friends who love cleanliness to come to our aid. First, the equipment used by this agency are very exorbitant. The BOMAC alone takes more than $500 million. We don't want the money. We don't even want able to say that. We want at least 1 or 2 BOMAC from Niger Delta Development Agency. It will help us in the
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The president insists that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say, these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
But we really want to assure you guys that we will support you.
We, the governors of the NDDC, have decided that we will work with the new acting managing director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better.
So although contract verification is going on, the NDDC must continue to do what it's set up to do, in spite of all that, helping to develop the Niger Delta. As we say, that's not going to be easy. However, every ear is down waiting for the final report of the contract verification committee so that eventually and finally the audit can happen. We'll be here to tell you how all that is shaping out. Join us, same time next week.